Wuthering Waves is becoming mainstream. I think a lot of people have already shared that statement a lot. It is a conversation that has been happening since a year ago, with tons of new content creators covering it, the characters dominating social media. The game won an award at the Game Awards 2025. Everybody considered it to be the peak of Wuthering Waves. But recently, with the Cyberpunk collab, conversations about the game have been becoming even more widespread. So much so that they reached TenZ, one of the most popular esports players of all time.
Wait till you're rolled. You're actually so clean. What the counterattack? Oh, what the there's a parry? Oh, there's a parry function! Oh my god. Oh wait, how do you... Okay, wait. How do you do this? How do you do this? Oh my god, the combat is sick.
Of course, the community welcomed him with open arms, and it became a very popular talking point in the space. But why does this matter? Well, before that, if you want to see more content from me, feel free to smash the like button and subscribe. Hit the notification bell icon to keep up with my videos. Without wasting any more of your time, let's just get right into it. First, let's address the big elephant in the room. Who is TenZ? I am sure most of you are Gacha players already and have probably never heard of him. So how are we gonna talk about how big this situation is without you knowing who the main character of the video is? Because this guy is not just any esports pro player, this guy is the esports pro player. Just like who Faker is to League of Legends, TenZ is to Valorant. Coincidentally, they are both in the same org, but that just happened recently. Let's go a bit further back.
TenZ really feels like a once-in-a-lifetime type player. Oh, man. All up in Lucy's face, and he's getting a jumping one as well on the beast. I said this the first time I called TenZ. This is his world, and we're just living in it.
As you can see, TenZ's mechanical skills are just out of this world. His popularity truly exploded in April 2021 when he was loaned into an org called Sentinels. In his prime, TenZ straight up carried Sentinels to a championship where they did not drop a single map during the entire tournament. His level of mechanical dominance during this era created the largest individual gap between one player and the rest of the professional scene in the game's history. It is like he is smurfing, and that is putting it lightly, because he's playing with other pro players. But skipping forward, a lot of things happened, and he retired from pro play and decided to become a full-time content creator. Luckily for him, he is not just a robot who aims well. He has hella personality, and he has a lot of fans. And this is a fun fact, but I just find it kind of funny that TenZ and the CEO of Wuthering Waves both cosplayed the characters from ReZero. Who knew that fate would bring them together like this?
Rise up into my world. Renew your definition.
It all started when he was queuing for a comp game in Valorant. For the higher ranks in the game, understandably, it takes a long time to queue. I remember back in the day he would play aim trainers, but recently I have seen him play other games. On one stream he said,
Literally any time now. Wait, should I play Wuwall while I'm in queue? Because I literally just installed it. I was gonna try it out because the combat like seems so much more intuitive and more fun than Genshin.
and just like that, the journey began. But well, his first playthrough wasn't really a playthrough, he was just playing it in between queues. So it's not like he actually dove deep and spent hours on it. He fought Dreamless, the introduction boss, which hooked him into the game. Like literally every one of us when we first started. But then he just went back to playing competitive games like Valorant and League. The next day though, after finishing his competitive games, he spent the rest of the stream playing Wuthering Waves, just because a lot of chatters were asking him to play it. And as you can see, from the stream time alone, you can assume he enjoyed his time playing it, because he streamed way longer than usual on that day. But getting into the game though, he was immediately met with the biggest filter for every new player that starts playing Wuthering Waves: dialogue. Mountains and mountains of straight up dialogue. Thank the gods and Solon, we have a skip button.
Okay, should I just skip this? Okay, Sana tells you that Davinci will meet you in 3 days.
But still, he was pressing that skip button a lot. And I don't know, I just don't see that as a good sign. I mean, imagine going from a competitive game where you have to lock in to win to reading a cluttered dialogue story. He also struggled immensely with pronouncing words that are either Chinese or the jargon in the beginning of the game. And there is a ton of explaining.
I don't know how to pronounce it, man. Imagine like just learning English and then trying to fucking read this. I'm literally a one trick and I still can't do this.
Thankfully, he still gave it a chance. I remember back then I was using the skip button very often myself. If it weren't for the gameplay, I would have quit immediately. I guess that goes the same way for TenZ, because after the YapFest tutorial, a lot of features of the game unlocked for him, and that includes the trials for the newer characters. And oh boy, like I don't even have to explain anything. The face that he makes when he enters the trial stage is just priceless. It actually became a meme on Twitter.
You can press G and look down for stronger damage. You guys are so stupid.
It's fascinating because in the beginning, he experienced the parry system and got hooked. But when he got to the trial stages and he sees the ults and animations, I think he actually fell in love.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh wait. Oh Jesus. Sick. What the
After testing the newer characters on the banners and their teams, he went on to experience other parts of the game, like going back to the main story and skipping the dialogues again. But it's not all that, thankfully. There are other aspects of the game besides the story, right? He went out to explore. He unlocked flights. And this is what he said.
Imagine just taking flight through the air like that and just saying it's average afterwards. I'm actually a piece.
And you know what? I think that is fair, considering the environment and the tutorial was pretty basic. But brother, just trust the process because there is so much more to this. Trust me, just give it time, because in the future, you will have moments like these.
Oh man, this is really good.
Dude, my asshole is fluttering right now.
Oh my god, this is such a banger of a song.
I feel like I'm playing Kingdom Hearts.
But legit, the entire time, I just watched him as he literally explored the world, running around with the starter characters, killing animals with his god aim. I mean, I guess I can't blame him considering the game he came from. He spends time exploring the overworld, tracking down quest markers, solving the puzzles, and fighting enemies. The veterans have a special word for it. We call it min picking. But god, as a day one player who has played this game for such a long time, I honestly forgot how good it felt when I first started playing Wuthering Waves. I remember the feeling of being able to grapple, run on walls, and double jump. I remember back then there was like a sequence you could do to jump incredibly high in the game. Like we didn't even have flight back then, but it was already so magical to me. Seeing TenZ play is like seeing myself play for the first time, and it's a wonderful feeling. I explored the map and enjoyed every little bit of it. But for TenZ, that map has gotten significantly bigger, and I'm just happy for him. Good for him. A highlight in the exploration that I think is worthy of talking about is when he found the red aura enemy. That was probably the first time where he actually had to lock in a bit more in the combat. His characters were dying and he actually had to dodge the attacks. And I think he's in the right mindset, you know? Right now, he's just bad.
Okay. Obviously, I'm just done.
But to be honest, I am glad that he reached that realization early, because we all know later in the game, especially in the holograms, it doesn't matter how much money you spend, it literally won't save you. The endgame bosses here are straight up skill checks in every possible way. But that is what makes it fun. That is what makes it amazing. It is not just damage sponges, overinflated HP, but there are actually combat mechanics that you have to do, and it's so good. Thankfully though, he has that pro player mentality, that competitive mentality. TenZ discovered his characters were literally taking self-damage because he was executing inputs incorrectly.
Why does the character do self-damage? Combo failed?
Instead of getting mad, his pro gamer brain triggered an obsession with mastering the combos. Beta losers will cry about Sanhwa's playstyle, but the alpha TenZ, when he doesn't know how to play a character, he will learn it, and he will learn it well. Fooling, one of the more challenging characters to play in my opinion, he learned her in just 10 minutes. As a new player, he straight up entered the tutorial training grounds to practice the combo inputs, and I was just watching it, and it's just insane. This guy has potential. The thing is, this is very interesting. I doubt that he would even get into the game this deep without his chat being incredibly supportive. So I would just like to give a round of applause to whoever was there to watch TenZ play Wuthering Waves and give him tips about the game. You are the absolute goats. The chat provided the real-time combo strings during his training arcs, typing tips like ult before chainsaw when he was practicing 𝗖cie𝗽𝘆𝗵𝗁. They will tell him about the open world points of interest, like the red echo boss we talked about. Without chat, he wouldn't have known it existed. They let him know that 𝗖mäth or Denia has 2 ults, and that is a big thing, because as a new player, nobody would suspect 2 ults, right? And let's be honest here, 𝗖mäth's ult is probably the best in the game, and we all had that same reaction when we saw the big robot and the bass drop sound. So TenZ got a pretty good clip when he saw that live on stream. And because TenZ came from a Genshin background, chat also helped him getting familiar with the characters or with the systems, like how copies of characters work like constellations in Genshin. When TenZ got lost in the UI, the chat provided direct instructions, like C is for echoes, to check his mail, press this button to open that. They also gave him poll advice, which is actually very debated in the chat. They initially told him to save the resources because obviously there's a Cyberpunk collab coming. They warned him about the early traps. They explained that the pity carries over. They guided him to maximize the discount banner. But you know, of course, gacha players love to gamba. So eventually TenZ folded and wailed on the game. I think it's a pretty funny situation since he is a literal multi-millionaire. But chat is still telling him to save his polls. But I think it's also a good sign because these are just good faith chatters who want TenZ to have the best experience possible. But my #1 praise goes to the top comments on his YouTube livestream VOD. It reads, pretty much what 𝗼𝗏 does is get you hooked into the game early with the combat, but everything else around the game consistently improves. The story early for this region has a lot of terminology you need to understand, and it is slower pace, but afterwards, you will not want to skip the story at all. In the first few acts, it's understandable, but give it a proper try after you finish Act 6. You won't be disappointed. 𝗼𝗏's story is really damn good now, especially for a streaming experience due to how cinematic it gets. It is like you are playing through an interactive movie game. So yeah, please give it a proper chance once you start getting into Act 5 or 6 of the first chapter. After these acts, you will see improvements in pretty much everything, so take your time and enjoy it. To which TenZ actually replied, I will keep this in mind while I'm playing more on stream. Thanks for the advice. Happy face emoji.
Probably from a lot of the content I've been doing with Wuthering Waves recently, they reached out and were like, yo, you want to do a sponsor stream? I love the game so much already, and I was like, wait, hold on a second. Like, you're telling me I get to you want to work with me and I get to play a goated ass game on stream? And I'm like, say less. Enough is song.
I mean, at this point, it is obvious that TenZ likes this game a lot. He spends a lot of time on it, and he even spends real-world money and wailed to get 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗆𝗏, a man of culture indeed. But he doesn't just get the characters, he actually learns how to play them optimally. This is the high-tier new player that every game actually needs. To make it even more clear, this is what he said at the end of his stream.
I put this game heavy. I'm gonna be completely honest. This game is one of the coolest games I've ever played. I think in terms of like, because I think people would like compare this game and Genshin because they're pretty similar in that aspect, but I think they're really good for different reasons. I think this one definitely is more catered towards my type of brain, where it has like the more intense combos, like parrying and like dodging and shit like that. I think I love that kind of stuff way more. So I think this is probably my most like fun one, in my personal opinion. Like the combat feel is is disgustingly good. The combat feel is actually disgustingly good. I think the Genshin combat, I do feel like it's like I press EQ, maybe one heavy, and then switch to the next character, and then do like EQ heavy, and then switch to the next character. You can just like do that rotation over and over. But this one was like, dude, I don't know. The fact that my character almost kills itself when I do the combo wrong, pretty fire. It's actually so fire. It punishes you for being bad.
Looking at this, it is pretty clear cuts, right? It is not like Genshin is bad. Nobody said that, and I hope people don't make narratives and don't make shit up about anyone saying that. Wuthering Waves is just more catered to his brain. The ultimates, the animations, the combats, the exploration, those are the things that just click with him. Even the 4 stars have amazing animations and design, so much that he actually learned how to play them. Every character in this game is designed in a way that feels like they matter, and personally, I love that. So I can't wait for TenZ to experience the game a lot more and find out more things to love as he plays. Because if you feel this way about the game in the very early versions already, trust me, you are only going up from here. Because Wuthering Waves ages well, like a fine wine. It rises in stock like Bitcoin. But the difference is, it is never too late to join and have fun together. But what do you think about the TenZ situation? Do you think it's a wholesome story? Do you think you should invite more content creators to cover it? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to show your support by liking and subscribing to the channel. Share the video to the people you think might enjoy the video as well. But that is all from me, 𝗖𝗍𝗆𝗆, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.